Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our daily get-together here on Facebook, live every single day of the week at 10:30 in the morning, where we gather to take a look at the latest headlines and stories that affect us here in Puerto Vallarta as an English-speaking community. If you're new to these conversations, if you're new to the broadcasts, we always welcome the opportunity to welcome you. So if you are new, feel free to write the word new in your comments and we'll be happy to welcome you. If you're new, my name is Paco, and it is always a pleasure to get together with you. And it's a pleasure to get together with a lot of people that join us on a daily basis. It is always very, very much appreciated. Let me take a quick look at your comments. We have all kinds of things to talk about today. Boom, bam, bim, bam, bam. Can you say the word that means dog days of summer in Spanish? It's canicula. The word is canicula, and it's a crazy word, but it comes from the Latin. But that's what it is, and we are in the middle of it. Eric, it's great to see you. Had a great time with you over the weekend. I hope you guys are enjoying your work shift, working from Puerto Vallarta. It's a good thing. I really hope you're having a good time. Good morning, Bill. It's good to see you. I have some feedback for you. Bill got in touch with me today privately, last night privately, to inquire about a murder that took place in Puerto Vallarta. We're going to touch base on that. We're going to touch base on a couple of things. And I must say that, actually, do you remember the 1980 masterpiece film 9 to 5? I don't know if you've seen it, but it is one of the most funny comedies. It's an office satire in which three female secretaries, decide to get revenge on their sexist, hypocritical, bigot boss. And two of those secretaries are Lily Tomlin and Dolly Parton. The third one is Jane Fonda. But in this pivotal moment of the film, the Lily Tomlin character and the Dolly Parton character have had enough of their sexist boss. And they're like, screw this. I'm going to go get a drink. They are really pissed off. And in case you don't remember, take a look.
Going?
I need a drink, Roz. I'm taking the rest of the day off.
Atta girl.
And atta girl, says the coworker that had the drinking problem in the office. Why am I showing you this? Because today's news are going to make you want to get a cocktail this afternoon, I guarantee you. Not all of them, but many of them are the kinds of news that are either people doing stupid things or saying stupid things, or, it's like, what are they thinking? So we are going to dive into the news because we have a lot of things to talk about. Here we go. Cue the news, cue the news. Okay, I'll use the manual button. Hold on. Oh, great. Oh, please don't make it one of those days in which, like, the technology decides to go crazy on me, because it's not. Okay, Peter's a little sluggish. I'm going to keep an eye on that, but I'm going to hope that we are there. For starters, this put a frown on all kinds of people, that the issue that beaches are not being taken care of became a topic throughout Mexico yesterday. This is very unfortunate because newspapers and media outlets from many different parts of Mexico are reporting that our beaches are not being taken care of responsibly. And the frustrating part of this bit of news has to do with the fact that that authorities seem to be oblivious of it. There was a very nice person who posted a photo on Facebook of the beach on Saturday morning saying, well, look at the beach. It's absolutely calm and peaceful. Nothing is going on. So it's hard to tell whether So sorry about that. I didn't realize my computer was going to play the headline song twice. But I seem to be back to be able to control my computer. Good. Anyhow, it is unfortunate that throughout Mexico, different newspapers are headlining the fact that Puerto Vallarta doesn't know how to take care of our beaches and that we don't have enough personnel to make sure that people safe distance. It is unfortunate that if this is true, that it is unfortunate that the local government has not used the last 3 months to strategize and to think, oh, maybe we should get a little bit more help. And if it's not true, if indeed the local government is doing things successfully to make sure that we are in a safe place, then it would be nice if they would be talking about it more. Anyhow, it's something that is upsetting to see the news trending in that way. We also learn from the Vallarta Opina that despite the pandemic, tourists keep coming to Puerto Vallarta, and this is good. Apparently, occupation right now is at 23% on weekends, which is close to the 25% to which hotels are supposed to be operating. Again, it would be nice to see more people visiting, and it would be nice to see more people behaving responsibly. Vallarta Opina also reports that massive events and large scale reunions are still not authorized in Puerto Vallarta. In fact, they're being canceled. The news item talks about patron saint parties, civic parties, community parties throughout the whole state in every single municipality are not allowed. Because they gather a lot of people together, and this is not good for the situation that we're going on. We also learned that the number of complaints against taxis and Uber drivers that are not wearing a face mask and are not following health guidelines is on the rise in Puerto Vallarta. It's either regular yellow taxi cabs or Uber drivers, or there's something called InDriver that I never heard about before. Apparently, it's a new service, and there are these reports that they're not following the guidelines properly. And to top that, this is one that I absolutely don't understand. This news item alone is enough for me to be happy that I scheduled my cocktail already for this afternoon. And before I show it to you, you need to understand that the union that controls taxi cabs and transportation, public transportation in Puerto Vallarta, and for that matter, the whole state of Jalisco, is very, very powerful. So much so that in Puerto Vallarta, like we need them, the government has authorized 155 more taxi cabs to circulate around the city. How is this even possible? It beats the beep out of me. I mean, I really wish I could understand or have a better appreciation of how these things get authorized in our little city that many of you call paradise. Every time I hear that term, I say to myself, well, we love it here, but I don't know about paradise. I mean, some of the decisions that are being made by our government just make me want to roll my head. Um, are you having fun yet? Hugo Lopez Gatell is being denounced by a political party for not delivering and not handling the pandemic properly. Now, you'd think that a health expert like Hugo Lopez Gatell or his counterpart, Anthony Fauci, in the United States, would get sued by citizens or by health organizations or by hospitals. But Hugo Lopez Gatell is getting sued by a political party. I mean, how is that even possible? So I share that news with you just so that you know and can appreciate that if you think the whole face mask and pandemic and Fauci versus Trump is the only political game that is going on, trust me, unfortunately, Mexico has its own share of that. And the party is the Movimiento Ciudadano, which is, I believe, the same party that our governor is in, if I recall correctly. I need to verify that, but I'm not entirely sure. Um, the Thank you yesterday for all the feedback on the public pools and water parks and stuff like that. Um, Gotta love these newspapers and their headlines. You know, El Heraldo de Mexico, a Mexico City-based newspaper, says um, public water parks in Jalisco are deserted on their first day of reopening. And, you know, one really has, oh, I'm not even showing you the headline. I'm sorry. One of us, one has to wonder, you know, who goes to a water park on a Monday? You know, who goes to a water park in a place that has been closed for months on a Monday? And it's unfortunate that newspapers choose to print this. And then, oh, this is so absolutely priceless. You know, do you know that? Are you having fun? I certainly hope you're having fun because these news just they make me want to go crazy. Do you know that sea turtles are an endangered species in Mexico? And do you know that unfortunately, a lot of very traditional people that don't know any better like to eat sea turtle? Some people think that their eggs have aphrodisiac powers, or they make men more cachondo, you know, more horny. So it is not uncommon for small towns in rural areas for people to cook turtle and make make broths with the turtle eggs. And more than once have I been to a ranch or someplace where somebody offered me to eat turtle, and it actually it turns my stomach. It turns my stomach. By law, it is forbidden to do anything with these animals other than protect them. So, would you be a city council person that would be caught eating turtle out and about? Better yet, would you be flaunting it on your Instagram account and showing a photo of yourself having just eaten sea turtle? Well, I'm going to introduce you to Lady Caguama. And Caguama is the word that we use to describe the ginormous beer bottles that we drink, but caguama is also the word that we use to relate or to refer to the large sea turtles. And I want you to meet Lady Caguama. Fortunately, this did not happen in Jalisco or in Puerto Vallarta, but she is a council person in Baja California. Comondu is the name of the municipality. Well, Lady Caguama is a city council person here, and she put a little thing on her on her Instagram, and it has the words "a comer," time to eat, with a little smiley. Um, so you know, if we actually end up doing the, somebody hinted the other day that Coffee and Headlines should have the "What the fuck" awards at the end of the year of showcasing some of the really stupid things that stupid people do out there. Um, and this is definitely going to be part of that. Let me take a quick look at your comments just to see what's going on with your minds today. 216 viewers. We must be onto something good. It's always great to see. It's always great to see your good mornings. I love this community because everybody is so nice and friendly and says good morning to everyone. Dun, 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 dun. You guys love 9 to 5. You know, it's a movie that everybody should watch every now and then again. It's really, really funny. Now, oh, poor Dave Van Pelt has 9 to 5 stuck on your head. I am so sorry. It's stuck on my head too. Let's see. Larry, thank you very much for sharing the link of the Puerto Vallarta song with me. I thought it was absolutely funny and wonderful and precious. I liked it very much. Um, let's see. Watching a live feed of the employee march right now, about 1,000 people participating. Holy cow! There must be a lot of bars in this city. If, for those of you that were not here yesterday, this morning there's a public demonstration going through our city and through Guadalajara of bar owners and nightclub owners that want to get back to work, or want to get a specific date in which they will be allowed to get back to work. Um, I hope they're not still planning the Montemar 3 day party at the end of the month. Well, Simon, from what I understand, it is still being planned, and from what I understand, the party is going to take place over several days, and it's going to be taking place at places that haven't been disclosed, and it's going to be taking place at places that are said to be outdoors. How is this even possible? You know, I need a drink. And like the other girl said, at a girl. I don't know. I can't tell you. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Dun 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 dun. Uh, okay. Where is this going, Paco? Well, I wish I could tell you, Mari. We live here and we love it, but again, this is our city. Our city is not any more perfect or any less perfect than any other city. It's a place where things are going on. Logan, just tell me where you'll be, and trust me, I'll be nearby. Uh, Okay, next, I want to make a comment at the request of a viewer. There was a murder, a horrible, murderous murder in Fluvial over the weekend. It was reported by one of the newspapers. I didn't talk about it, not because I'm afraid to talk about it. Here we talk about things as they're going, but it was just not an interesting story. And, stories can be positive or negative and happy or sad, but if it's a non-interesting story, I'm not inclined to talk about it. But somebody that lives in Fluvial reached out to me and said, I'm scared, what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. And the fact of the matter is that apparently, and I say apparently because not a lot was reported about it. Actually, this, I understand, happened near Farmacia Guadalajara in Fluvial Avenue. This guy was from Guanajuato, was going on a vehicle, and he was cornered by two other vehicles. Then there were fistfights, and then he was shot. He was shot on the street, and he was shot, and he was dead immediately after that. And the people, I think, left the cars behind, and the people just ran away, and nobody has been apprehended yet. This sounds to me like something that, I mean, if the guy was visiting from another state and was, corralled here in Fluvial, and just happens to be Fluvial, it could have been anywhere in the city. It sounds to me like this was organized crime related and has very little to do with what's going on in Puerto Vallarta. But I'm talking about it at the request of one of our regular viewers, so there you have it. Should we get our panties in a tizzy? Actually, I don't think so, because coincidentally, there was this news item from Proceso, which is, again, a very credible news outlet and political outlet in Mexico, that says that the state of Colima occupies the first place with most crime during the month of June. 267.7 crimes for every 100,000 inhabitants. The article actually does the breakdown. Again, this is good reporting. Does the breakdown of which are the states in Mexico that have the highest crime rates, or had the highest crime rates during the month of June. And after Colima, we have Aguascalientes, we have Baja California Sur, Baja California Norte, Quintana Roo, Querétaro, Chihuahua, Guanajuato, the state of Mexico, Morelos, Mexico City, San Luis Potosí, Coahuila, Zacatecas, Tabasco, and Jalisco is on 15th place. So if the shooting took place in Puerto Vallarta, And Jalisco has the 15th is the 15th state in the country with violence and crime in the last month. Should we be too worried about it? Actually, no. And the vast reality of it is that, in Puerto Vallarta, in paradise, um, people get killed and people get robbed and people get shafted, and we should be grateful that it doesn't happen to us. It's unfortunate when things happen to us. I was sad and amused, and I'm sorry, I had to laugh when another regular person that joins us just about every day, she posted on her Facebook that she was at home, minding her own business, watching TV, I think, and all of a sudden her sink in the bathroom just fell, like literally. So it must have been an old sink, and it must have been, and the thing just fell. And something like that happened to me when I used to live at Loma del Mar, a condo in Emiliano Zapata. One night, I was sitting at home minding my own business, and it was late at night. It was like 11 or 12, and all of a sudden, a pipe busted in my bathroom, and there was no main valve for me to be able to shut the pipe. And by the time I got help from the building manager, there was like 1 inch of water in my entire apartment, and there were like electricity extensions everywhere, and I was barefoot. I mean, it's a miracle that I didn't get electrocuted that day. Why am I telling you this? Because shit happens. Yes, Casey, I know that was you. I didn't want to say your name, but I needed you to hear my story about the bathroom flooding. My entire apartment was ruined. My speakers, my furniture, my everything was ruined. Do you think that my landlord took responsibility for it? Of course not. And the reason I say this is because these things happen. People get killed. There is violence in the world. Now, what we can do about it or not is the same thing as what's going on with COVID-19 right now. It has to do with how we take this information and either make ourselves concerned, frightened, paranoid, miserable with it, or we learn to, move forward in a place, in a world, in a planet where risk is around us on a day to day basis. Um, and if I'm sounding a little ranty, I don't mean to sound ranty, but the news today are just sort of crazy in that regard. But after all of this, I'm going to take a quick look at your comments, and I'm going to glide us through the leisurely stuff because we do have some really fun and leisurely stuff to share. Let me take a quick look. Boom, 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 boom. Um, Oh my God, Jane, Lily, and Dolly are in talks for a new 9 to 5 movie. We need to get so very stoned for that. It's not even funny. Um, Taxi horror stories. Yes, welcome to paradise. Welcome to sunny Puerto Vallarta. Claudia, qué gusto saludarte. This is Claudia from El Arrayan. It's so nice to see you guys. Um, let's see. Justin, I am sorry you got shamed for visiting Puerto Vallarta. I am sure that when you were here, you were the best possible citizen, the best possible visitor. I'm sure you led by example, and I'm sure you wore your face mask everywhere, and other people should be envious of you. Um, and this is a beautiful comment. 1,000 people marching that are going to practice perfect social distancing strategies in their businesses, in their bars, because that's who's marching today. um, yes, this is my cynical side. I'm so sorry. Ah, hold on just a second. Boom, 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 boom. You guys are so wonderful because I see your comments, and Elaine must have been cocktailing because he didn't notice a thing. Yes, I happened really close by. And it's funny because there was another death that happened like half a block away from it. Apparently, a man was just walking, and he died. I mean, he must have had a stroke or something horrible. But there were two very public deaths in Fluvial over the same weekend. Um, Bill, very scary. I'm sorry. it would be scary. Sometimes I hear gunshots out of my window and I get scared. But again, I really hope this is not making you feel like, oh my God, what are we going to do? The world is coming to an end. The reality is, shit happens, and Puerto Vallarta is not extent. I'm not saying it's good that it happens or that it's bad that it happens, but if we want to live thinking that we live in a world where nothing happens, I mean, we're going to get caught by surprise. And I hope that's not your case. Um, I never filter my content, Terry, and that's why I get into trouble sometimes. But, we're locals. How else are we going to tell it? You know? Dun 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 dun. Uh, 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 uh. Sorry to hear about this. I am not familiar with Carlos, who was a waiter at Blake's for 11 years and just passed away due to the virus. This is very sad. It is unfortunate that it's happening to everybody. I want to come back next month, sometime in August. What do I think? Paco, Michael, if you're single and sexy and you're gorgeous and you're charming and charismatic and can have a conversation about Audra McDonald and other Broadway stars, I think you should definitely come to Puerto Vallarta and have a cocktail with me. Um, let's see. Da, 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 da. Uh, I've lived here for over 3 years. Never heard of one before. This one murder. Bill, here's a problem. You know, English speaking news sources in Puerto Vallarta don't talk about murders because English speaking news sources in Puerto Vallarta are directed for the most part to visitors and tourists. So English speaking papers, and I know this because I ran a magazine. I was the editor of a magazine for 12 years, Vallarta Lifestyles. And we didn't talk about this stuff because we just didn't. Some people used to complain about the fact or criticize the fact that we only told the pretty stuff. And the fact is, we only told the important stuff. And yes, sometimes there were not very pretty, important things that happened. But for the most part, a lot of the media outlets that are here to protect the holy tourism scene, and I'm not criticizing, it's a fact. A lot of news outlets just don't want you to know that shit happens, but shit happens. Sorry to break the news. Yes, Catherine is completely correct. We live in a big city and there is the full spectrum of crime. Absolutely. Um, ja, ja, ja. New to the program. Hello, Susie. Any word when PV will open again? Any forecast we want to be there? PV is open as many places around the world. You just need to be careful. From looking at your photograph, I can see that you guys are of a certain age. I don't mean that as a criticism. So when you are of a certain age, you want to be careful where you go. Right now, the city is not suggesting that people over 60, and I hope you won't take offense by what I just said. The city suggesting that if you're over 60, you're not out there unless you are out there for the truly essential stuff. So if you're over 60, it might not be a good time to come just yet. Any word when PV will open again? It's a mystery. It's a mystery to everyone. Thank you for that, Clay. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. You guys are very talkative today, and I love it when you engage. I very much appreciate it. Um, love Vallarta Lifestyles magazine. Um, well, I stopped loving it when I stopped running it, and that's about as much as I feel comfortable saying. But if you ever want to have a cocktail with me and you want to know about how wonderful Vallarta Lifestyles magazine used to be, I'm happy to have that conversation. Let's see. Oh, speaking of Viral Lifestyles, Jorge, who used to work with me in Viral Lifestyles, is here. Qué gusto saludarte, Jorge. This is great. Let's see. Regarding English speaking news, you are exactly right. Well, this is why we started Coffee and Headlines, because there, and if in case you haven't heard that story, I'm going to say it very briefly again. There are great sources of information in town, online, on websites, in print, for people that want to come here and be a tourist for a weekend, for a week, for a month, even for a season. There is no outlet. in Puerto Vallarta for people like you and me that live here year round or are locals or feel or identify with locals. So I'm really, really happy to create this space. More often than not, the news are really fun and upbeat. Today, we're just going to need to get a little shit faced at the end of the day, or some of us will anyway. So if you're not if this is not what you want to hear, if what you want to hear is all the beautiful stuff about the malecon and the sculptures and this and that, there are great places where you can go. That's not what you're going to find at Coffee and Headlines, for better or worse. And this is a good moment to turn the page from all this nonsense and talk about a few leisurely things. Starting with the least leisurely of them, which is our weather. It's hot. Canicula. We're still in the canicula, and we're going to be in the canicula for a while. And I am glad to see my dear, dear longtime friend, Debbie Egan, thinking that I'm killing her this morning. Well, Debbie, you're a local as much as I am, so what can I say? It's 27 degrees Celsius, 81 Fahrenheit. Humidity is high. It's 81% humidity. Zero chance of rain for today. So brace yourselves. Find yourselves a swimming pool and a very cold beer, because that might be the way to go. I think I'm going to find myself drowning in the Hotel Mercurio pool later on today after having eaten my chilaquiles, of course. Let's take a quick. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. My bad. We were on the weather. Let me see if I can do this properly. There we are. We were on the weather, and I was getting ready to tell you that today it's going to be humid and partly cloudy through the day, and tomorrow it's going to be exactly the same day. We may get some rain by Friday afternoon. So again, it's time to find a little bit of a swimming pool or something to get refreshed and stuff. I have to stop for a moment and acknowledge a really wonderful comment by Linda Elfers, who says, I really hope this broadcast continues after COVID. My question to you, Linda, is why would we stop? We're not going to stop being locals. We're always going to have stuff to talk about. So trust me, as long as you can stand me and as long as you're interested in this, and of course, Luna, my kitty cat, who sometimes sits next to me, we're going to keep doing Coffee and Headlines for as long as it's worthwhile, important, and necessary. Fun headlines. I have to say that I'm going to start with a one headline that is more of a personal thing. I've never been able to keep a journal, and I always try to get myself excited about journaling because a lot of people say that journaling is a good thing for the soul and for many other reasons. So whenever I see articles like this one, I always get all excited and I download things and I install applications, and then the whole thing goes down the drain in a few days. But maybe, just maybe, you are better at journaling than I am. Maybe you will succeed better than I have. So that's why I'm putting this headline there so that you can give it a go. If you journal, I would love to hear about it at some point, either here in the show or in private. You let me know. Next, how Karen became a symbol of racism. It was about time that Vox addressed the Karens and the Kens. Now, I haven't read this, but trust me, this is probably going to be super fun and super interesting to read. I still keep thinking about the Karens in our lives. I am sure that my beloved, my very own, my Karen Carpenter must be rolling in her grave at looking at how her name became a symbol of racism. I want to let you know that, come on, Facebook, thank you. I want to let you know that Carnegie Hall is going to feature she's all mine, my Audra McDonald in a live show on Thursday. This is going to be on Thursday at 1 p.m. Now, Audra McDonald is everything. So if you don't know who Audra McDonald is and you want me to write a love letter to Audra McDonald, just write Audra in your comments and I'll be happy to put something together because she is one of the most talented people on this earth. She's a Broadway star. She's an opera diva. She's done television. She's written books. She is charismatic. She's just freaking awesome. And I know that not everybody's going to be into Audra McDonald. I appreciate it. But if you guys want to hear more about Audra, just write Audra. And if I see enough Audras in the comments, I'll be happy to go there. And the last bit of something that I have to share with you is a shout out to a great local business that is doing something for the community. I have a lot of respect for businesses that are so caught up in COVID right now that all they can think of is getting themselves out of crisis. And that is perfectly understandable. But in the middle of it, I am also happy to see businesses and showcase businesses that even when they are in the middle of this crisis, they find time to do something wonderful for the community that is probably also going to benefit them as well. And why not? What am I talking about? I'm talking about Ryan Donner and his real estate team. Why? Because they've put together this amazing list of Puerto Vallarta art galleries and art related spaces. And they've gone to them to photograph them in special using special 3D, not 3D, 360-degree equipment, similar to some of the videos that you've seen me put together. And they are showing, thanks to Eric Fierro, one of the agents at Ryan Donner, they have taken all these 360-degree views of different gallery spaces throughout the city, such as Arte Viviente, En Casa Oaxaca Art and Home Decor, and Galeria Brown, and many other galleries throughout the city. As I understand it, and I could be wrong, they're doing this just as a community thing to try to help galleries, and I think that's absolutely wonderful. So today, as always, I will leave you with links to everything that we've talked about in the show notes, including, of course, this wonderful effort that Ryan Donner and his team are putting together. And that's pretty much all I have to share with you today. I'm sorry if today was a little manic, but today the news just sort of aligned themselves, and it's a good point to reflect on the fact that sometimes news are good, sometimes news are bad, sometimes news are frustrating, sometimes news are stupid, but news are real, and we try to keep it as real as we possibly can. I am glad to see that Eric is confirming that what Ryan Donner and his team are doing is for free for art galleries, and that is absolutely wonderful. I will take a quick last minute look at your comments before we sign off. I see enough Audra, so that I'll put together a love letter to Audra McDonald tomorrow, and I know exactly what we need to do so that you can better appreciate this amazing, amazing source of inspiration. Boom, 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 boom. Yes. Okay, lots of Audra comments. So anyhow, this is it. This was Coffee and Headlines for today. I'm going to get my cocktail this afternoon. I sure hope you find yourselves a nice refreshing sangria or a beer or a something, or maybe you want to meditate. Do whatever you can. Do whatever you want so that you can process the information and then wake up feeling good about what you do. You know what I do? And I've said this before, very quickly. I make it a point to ever so often, or with certain regularity, show people around that have never been here before or have never gone to places before. Because when we see our surroundings through the eyes of people that are seeing them for the first time, it's the best medicine. It's the best medicine to remember what a beautiful place Puerto Vallarta is. So go find yourself a new visitor. Go find yourself and a friend and take them to a restaurant they've never been to. Because more often than not, you will be reminded of what a wonderful place this is to live. It works for me. It worked on Sunday. Have a great day. Oh, where's my have a great day thing? Hold on just a second. Have a great day. Have a great day. Here's my outro. Bye bye.